Ladies and gentlemen, are you in the gym every week? Are you looking to kind of keep yourself cool while you work up a nasty sweat? Well, I got the best thing for you. Cooling bands, bandanas, cooling towels, and so much more. Go to Vertical Athletics, get your favorite team in MLS or MLB. Or guess what? Now they have a custom option so you can upload your own logo and you can save 10% at checkout when you enter the code Brian H. Waters. Go to verticalathletics.com, use the code Brian H. Waters to save 10% on some of your best cooling gear. Before we get started with today's show, I just want to remind you that you can save 10% on your order with Symphony of Balloons, a luxury balloon company that also offers a 360 camera. Just simply mention you heard about them on Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings with Uncomfortable Conversation. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. It's the Christmas season. So how y'all feeling generally? Usually, this is my favorite time of the year. For some reason, I don't know. This year is not clicking, to be honest with you. I've been, enjoying life. So it's not like life is, last year around this time, can't necessarily say the same thing. And the year before that, well, I had COVID. Really sucked. Got it right. Well, found out before Christmas, the day before Christmas, and I always said that it kind of showed me what the rest of the year was going to be. Anybody else out there feel that way? That sometimes the holiday season can, the way you feel, and kind of dictate how you're going to be feeling the next year. 2022 was a year that was a lot of uncomfortable change. That's the way I see. A lot of uncomfortable change, and 2023 could be described as the rebuilding year, but it wasn't a rebuild as in a lot of growing pains, but a rebuild of the promises that's to come, right? If we look at, huge Orioles fan here. So if we look at the way the Orioles season was, my 2022 was like the year when they lost 100 plus games. But the rewards for those was the development and their acquisitions and draftings of Adley Rushman, Gunnar Henderson, two of the franchise cornerstones right now, and Jackson Holiday. 2023 for me was the equivalent of the Orioles this year. Coming into the season, little rough spots, but then the magic just kept carrying on, and it was better than what anybody expected. They didn't win the World Series, but it was still a successful season. So that's how I would describe 2023 for me. You know, I had a lot of cool things happen, being able to attend all the big four in pro wrestling, that being Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, something I had never done before. But then I also, just really got a chance to like relearn who I am and, be accountable. And that's the thing I'm looking forward to in 2023, 2024. Trimming a lot of fat and not physically, obviously physically too, but also what doesn't serve my purpose, got to go. Accountability. If it's not working, say something. If it doesn't help me elevate, it's time for it to go. There's things that a lot of times they say, insanity is keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. And that's the thing. I'm not going to be insane. I'm not going to keep doing the same thing. So I would encourage those out there. If you look at your January versus your December, look at the dash, anything in between, dig deep, ask yourself, what is it that I've done that I could do better? Or what could I be better at? But that's it as far as I'm gonna say about that. I'm not one of these motivational podcasts and motivational speakers who have all the answers or pretend I do. And I mentioned that the holiday season is upon us. Has anyone noticed an influx of holiday movies, in particular Christmas movies? I was on my Roku, right? And if you have a Roku, you'll notice like the homepage, it'll have suggested movies. And it was one Christmas movie here, another Christmas movie there. So then on my Samsung television, that's the same thing. They have like the sponsored elements, right? I don't use a cable box. Life hack, I signed up for Xfinity, but I chose not to get the box because I would just use their streaming app. So I don't have to pay the 5, 10, $15 it costs to rent the box, right? Now, it can be difficult when you're watching with your friends because sometimes there's a delay. But there's all these Christmas movies. Now, I will admit, I am a consumer of the Tubi. The Tubi app has a lot of gems, folks. Now, you got some movies, a lot of them based in Detroit. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it's just maybe that's where the DVD man, the producer. You got a couple in Baltimore, but a lot of them, a lot of urban movies that are based in Detroit, and a lot of the same actors and actresses, and they tend to cross paths. But hey, these people out here working. But there's a lot of Christmas movies there. I downloaded and signed up for a free trial of BET Plus for one reason. My favorite actress from The Young and the Restless, Michelle Morgan, was in a movie called Sworn Justice. And I went like, okay, that's why she's not on Y&R. So let me go check this out. Solid movie. I liked it. I'm not a movie critic. I'm not Cisco or Ebert. So there's a lot of movies I haven't seen. So I'm not the person you go to find out if a movie is good or not. I'm just being honest. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. My favorite movie is Barbershop. So, but I watched that and I watched her Hallmark movie that was like Christmas with a Kiss. So I'm like, all right, those are the two movies. And then of course, I watched my favorite movie, Home Alone. Every year I watch Home Alone. I'm going to watch Home Alone 2. My kids one year, bless their hearts, I think it was Christmas of 2021. They bought me the Home Alone DVD set. Come with 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I may not actually have opened it just because like I can watch it anywhere. It's just, it's nice to have it sealed. I might open it. But I watched that movie, the first one. I haven't watched the second one, but I'm like, man, for me, I'm just not feeling the holiday season like I always do. Not really playing a lot of holiday music in the car. It's also been frustrating. I drive a Nissan Altima, and my car radio, the standard radio that comes with the car, right? Last Saturday decided that the Bluetooth didn't want to connect. So if you out there, you got Nissan Altima, you have a solution, let me know. I got the basic radio, not the one with the screen or the navigation, just the basic one. But for whatever reason, the Bluetooth disconnected. And then every time I try to reconnect it, it wouldn't. I deleted all the phones out and it still wouldn't work. So the dealership wanted to charge me $180 to do a software update. Do they not realize it's Christmas time? And then the lady said it might not work. So I left out of there. I drove to Walmart. I bought the adapter, the little piece for the iPhone that where you can add an auxiliary cable. And so that's how I've been listening to my music and playing more so podcasts. Shout out to all the podcasters out there. But yeah, I haven't really jumped into the Christmas music yet. Maybe in the next couple weeks. But I want to know how y'all feel about this holiday season. I will say we talked about this on Wednesday worldwide. WWE has announced that they will no longer release physical media, and that's so sad. The end of an era. We're seeing things where you see people share their collections. I, for one, I remember it was a point where I stopped counting. I have well over 100 DVDs. Regrettingly, I threw away my tapes. I know all the WrestleMania VHSs. Once I got the DVD version, I was like, "All right, well, I gave 'em those all to the real Dwayne Allen." and probably some of the other ones. But I was like, man, I really wish because like so the tapes would include like SummerSlam '98, um, Fully Loaded, all that stuff I either had on DVD or it's available on the network. So I was like, you know what? I don't need these tapes no more. But I do heavily wish I still had them. But I still got my DVDs. I don't plan to get rid of them. Um, they're around here. I don't feel like reaching, but yeah, I don't plan to get rid of those. It's just like, man, what happened? What is really happening? So that's unfortunate. But it's kind of one of those things. It's life. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support this podcast by wearing a t-shirt, whether it's the one that says breaking through glass ceilings or the one that says no ceilings above success, simply go to foryourwear.com. Also, you can support some of your other favorite podcast and content creators, including Those Wrestling Girls, Seahawk, and the Wrestling Club. And you can support some of your favorite independent wrestlers, including Jay Bougie, Trisha Dora, Chaz the Dawn. Shoot, all the Pure Ignorance is on there. So go on foryourwear.com, go under personalities, you'll find Brian H. Waters, and buy a t-shirt. And remember, I'll give you a shout out on the show. Are you a podcaster who is looking to share clips from your show in the simplest way possible? Well, I have the best solution, and that's Opus Clip. Opus Clip allows you to take the link to your show, upload it, and then they will clip off some of the best moments. And it allows you to edit it, change the captions, change the colors, and they also give you a viral score so you know which clip can potentially generate more buzz for your show. So, if you're looking to do that, click the link in the bio, sign up for Opus Clip, and go viral with some of the best content from your show. One of the things I definitely want to get into today is athletes clapping back on Twitter. I was on Twitter last week, right after the game, one of the games this Saturday, and I saw safety Jamal Adams tweet at a reporter about his wife. Now, the reporter had posted it was a play that happened. You Connor Hughes, that's the reporter. The Cowboys was playing Jamal Adams Seahawks, and they threw a touchdown to Dak Prescott threw a touchdown, take the lead. The touchdown was caught over Jamal Adams. Now we know that's the worst thing a cornerback wants to do or a safety wants to do is give up a touchdown. Connor Hughes tweeted, "Yikes." No mention, none at all. Well, at Prez, that's Jamal Adams, quote tweeted, "Yikes," in parentheses, the frown face, half wink face emoji, hashtag Prez to let you know he signed it. And it's a picture of Connor Hughes and his wife. So of course, people wanted to see if we was going to see the whole doubling down. Is he going to say something? Is he going to apologize? Nope. Jamal Adams basically said this is what he told the Tacoma News Tribune. It's always the athlete that crosses the line. It's always the athlete that crossed the line when he responds. But at the end of the day, disrespect, however you want to take it. So I responded. I knew what I did when I hit that tweet. I wasn't in it to win it. At the end of the day, it was to get him to understand. Leave me the hell alone. When I go low, when others go low, I go lower. He was then asked if he had any regrets about what he did, which opened up another can. And he says, "I mean, you can sit there and have regret, but I don't live that way in my life." We've had history, Connor and I. We've never liked each other. Obviously, hey, he responded to something that was uncalled for that he didn't need to speak on. And honestly, I've been letting him slide for too long and I got fed up with it. I did what I did. I hate that I bring had to bring her in this situation, but at the end of the day, the ultimate goal was to get at him. I'm not here to say if it was fair or not, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it's been personal with him and I ever since I've been with the Jets, and even before that, since my rookie year. Like I said, it's been going on for countless years. He's always said some smart things toward my play. If I do a mistake, and I just got fed up with it, bro. This was the end of it, and I knew this only thing right here I was gonna tweet was gonna hurt him. Anything else I would have said wouldn't have hurt him. But he got my point, and he knows not to continue to mess with me. Again, didn't want to bring her in it, but so I just so happened to scroll down and I seen what I seen and I responded with the same comment he made. Wow. That story originally appeared on the touchdown wire. I don't agree with bringing people involved, bringing family members. When I worked at Best Buy, we used to make fun of each other all the time. When I got there, the supervisor, I'm gonna leave his name out of this just because, but the supervisor, he told me, he said, we tend to say things, we go below the belt sometimes, but there's one thing that's off limits, that's wife and children. He is a very dedicated father, and I see the stuff that he does with his kids to this day. That man loves his kids. He made it known. We can anything goes, leave the wife and kids out of it. I wasn't married nor did I have any children at the time. But I was never one to really talk about people's kids and wives and or husbands. No, unless it got to a point and unless I knew them. Right. No, correction. I'll be honest. Um, there was a time where I did talk about somebody's child, and it was an issue me and a woman had of my ex. Her friend had got involved. Me and my ex was having a argument, and she got involved and she pushed me. So I told her, call her, some not so nice things. That was wrong of me. And then I said something about her son because I was doing what Jamal Adams did. I was 22 at the time, and I was like, "Oh." And I remember talking to my uncle. Shout out to my late uncle Mike. And first thing he said, "Now shouldn't have did that. That wasn't nice. No, her son ain't had nothing to do with this." And he was a spoiled little boy, and I remember my ex would always talk bad about him. So because of the heated moment of argument, it was like my way of combating. And I knew that was wrong. But at that time I didn't care. Jamal Adams sounds like he was calculated. Now he's 28. Like I said, I was 22. I don't think anything else would happen, but I think after a while, like you said, this been going on back and forth. It gets to a point where enough is enough. And I look back, a lot of athletes tend to clap back on Twitter, and people always want to criticize them. And it's unfortunate, but sometimes a human being can only take but so much. Last time we was here, I brought up the whole situation with Des Bryant and Malika Andrews. Malika, to my knowledge, didn't say anything about Dez to spark that. Dez was criticizing her about the way she do her job. It was never personal between him and her on the sense of she said something about him, so he had to respond. And now I wonder what happens if Malika would have responded. Would people look at her different? Or what happens when the moment she responds to somebody on Twitter because everybody likes to come at her about whatever she does. So it's always interesting these situations, and they can be very unfortunate. I look at what Jamal Adams did, And there's part of me that says, okay, I understand why. And he said he hate that he had to bring her in this situation, but I wish there was another way. I wish this lady didn't have to be involved or even have her picture shown. I'm pretty sure he posted the picture, but let's be real. Jamal Adams has a bigger following than Connor Hughes, you know. So, but it's also that's the thing about being careful. And it's something and people may say, "Wow, you're saying this?" You do have to be careful. I was watching this interview with Essence Atkins that she was on. Um, she was on this podcast and she was saying how there's a certain thing you do when you open up things when you post your relationship online and you tend there's a certain can of worms and stuff you open up. Basically, to summarize it, like it was the Hardly Initiated podcast. I wanted to make sure I gave credit. But she said you invite people in. And it's one of those things I know I tweet about my children. Um I've done it less and less considering how much I used to do it. There was a time I always tweet, I tend to fall back, especially with their names. Um, Unless it's like Facebook, I kind of have more of a controlled environment there. But, you also got to be careful, man. And I think a lot of times there's this thing with reporters and athletes where sometimes it seems like a battle. And I don't think it always has to be that way. I do understand reporters have a job. Obviously, I know that. I studied in school. I did cover um the Orioles and the Wizards and the Washington football franchise for a period of time. I understand that you have to ask tough questions. You do ask about their play, but there's ways to do things. And I think that people need to understand that. No, like Stephen A. Smith said this one time, you aren't going to be invited to their holiday parties. They're not going to send you Christmas cards. So you don't have to necessarily always toe the line and, you know, for lack of a better word, kiss their ass. But you should show some respect. You should show some respect. The yikes, like I said, that was probably you never know. Peter gonna get me for this one. You never know what can be the straw that breaks the camel's back. To us, it can seem like, all right, whatever. You got beat on the play. You ain't had to do that. But for him, if this been going on for a while, hey man, a man can only take what a man can take. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this week's episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. I'll be back next week. Enjoy your weekend. Do some holiday shopping. And while you're at it, remember you can save money on vertical athletics. You can save money on a symphony of balloons. You got an event, you're in the Baltimore, DC area, or if you're willing to pay the travel costs outside those areas, but you want your event to have a 360 camera, Symphony of Balloons is your resolution. And remember also, Opus Clip. I'm an affiliate of Opus Clip, and you can make some of the best social videos using Opus Clip, just simply adding the link and letting them do all the hard work. You can customize the captions. Please customize your captions. I'm tired of everybody looking the same and also edit them. But you can do all of that. Very simple. Use the link in the bio, save you some money. Until the next time, folks, I'm Brian H. Waters. Remember, do not let anyone place a ceiling above your success. Buy a shirt from foryourwear.com. Podcasters and gamers, we all know it can be intense. We're talking, we're getting hyped, we're passionate. Sometimes we need a boost. Well, you can get that by getting Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy is the #1 supplement for podcasters and gamers, and they have tons of different flavors, including Strawberry Burst, Tropical Breeze, and Cotton Candy. And you can save 10% by putting in the code Brian H at checkout. So go to rogueenergy.com and enter the code Brian H to save money.